It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the Northland College head volleyball coach, Coach Hope Neargarder. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college volleyball?
Yeah, probably right after my senior year of playing volleyball ended, it came surreal that my volleyball career was ending. And I was talking to a few other coaches, and I was like, I'm in athletic training. I can keep going this route, but I don't really want to give up volleyball. So that's when I started looking at grad assistant jobs and taking that next step in my future of becoming a coach and what that would look like.
What was that experience like for you going to D Finance College and getting to play collegiate volleyball?
Yeah, very surreal. I loved it. It was challenging because I came from a really small high school. So coming in and playing on a college level where everyone's just as good or better, and you really have to compete for that spot. But I mean, it was, I loved every minute of it. I made some lifelong friends from that experience and got to compete at a high level and really made me the coach and person I am today from just learning more and more about the game.
How is that feeling like getting to represent them and putting on that volleyball uniform for them?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the first time you're like, wow, is this really happening? And I mean, playing at the next level was always a goal in a lot of high school people's dream, and not a lot of people get to experience that next level. So, I mean, when it happened, it was amazing, and I'm really fortunate to have that chance to play at the next level.
Of course, getting into coaching, what was it like going to Miami University to become a grad assistant?
It was a lot different, going from D3 to D1. It was like it's a grind, especially with the amount of going to school as well, and then working with the team. The level is much different, but it was a grind. It kind of really showed me that side of coaching in a different perspective, because you always think what the coaches are doing behind the scenes, but then really experiencing it and seeing the conversations and being part of the backside of it was crazy, but I really enjoyed it. It really taught me a lot.
How was that experience like going to Wilmington College and becoming assistant volleyball coach?
Yeah, I it really made me know that I wanted to be in D3, from going from D1 to D3 again and playing D3 and winning two championships, conference championships. Like, I knew the love of volleyball was, I was going to say, at D3. Wilmington, it was fun. It was a grind, especially COVID hitting when I was there. It kind of shifted of how we had practices, a lot of training aspects. So it was challenging because of COVID, but I don't regret going back to D3 after Miami.
Of course, going to Illinois College, what was that experience like getting to be an assistant volleyball coach, but also joining a new sport and being the head coach for the Clay Target?
It was a lot of fun. The guys I coached with at Clay Target, they were a great group of guys. They still catch up with me nowadays and check in with me. Learning that sport was a lot of fun. And recruiting is very similar, just because you're building those relationships and just talking to recruits, and you're kind of that salesman of what IC was about. But I mean, learning a different sport and some lingo was a lot of fun. And it kind of made me a better recruiter because I didn't know much about Clay Target at all. So having to recruit and running a fundraiser for that program, I mean, it was challenging, like every step in your career can be, but I mean, I really enjoyed it and gave me a different perspective of how to sell a program that you really don't know much about and kind of falling in love with the team and everyone in that group. I really enjoyed it.
Of course, how did that time as a head coach for Clay Target helped you into where you are now, becoming a head volleyball coach?
Yeah, it kind of taught me how to take charge of a program and collaborate with your admin staff, especially I was in charge of running the fundraiser for the Clay Target program. So learning the fundraising side of things really helped me because then I was able to, okay, this is kind of what we need to do, set aside for this fundraise, get the kids involved and stuff like that. So it kind of helped me build that confidence of, all right, I can run a program and building and be able, I got a commit from Clay Target, not even knowing Clay Target. So it just helped my confidence a lot in that realm too.
Coming to Northland College, what was that experience like becoming a head volleyball coach for the first time in your coaching career?
Um, a little nerve-wracking, just because it is your program now, so it's on you. But I was very excited about the chance to become the head coach here, and um, yeah, I like it's very the opportunity, like you always want it, and then when it happens, you're like, wow, like it happens. All the hard work you put into being an assistant, the grind day in and day out, it's well worth it.
After being announced as the head coach, what was that feeling like taking that court for the first time as a head coach?
A lot of joy, getting all those love and support when that was announced, and then taking the court as a head coach. A little nerve wracking as well, just because your team preps and it's all on them then once they hit the court to play. But I was very proud of my team the first game. They worked hard in preseason, and I just had this feeling that it was going to be okay, with how much hard work they put in. No matter the outcome, I was proud of how we played. And yeah, I was very proud of them.
As a new head coach, what was it like building the coaching staff around you and the players around you?
Um, the biggest thing we focused on was trust and communication. I came in and they really didn't talk to each other too much, and now like when they're around each other, they don't stop talking. So that's always the fun side of seeing where they are to where they are now. And I mean, challenging at first just because you want to make sure you're doing everything right and that it's a good thing that's happening. But now looking back from the season, I mean, I have a really good group of girls and very proud of how much we accomplished. I got quite a few compliments of how hard this team worked on the court and how much heart they could see the team playing with. And at the end of the day, wins matter. But hearing that as a first year head coach, I think that made it all so much more worth it.
Of course, for you as a head coach, what was that feeling like getting that first win?
Oh, ooh, exciting, and you could breathe a little bit of, all right, we got that first one under your belt, let's keep it going. Kind of takes a little more pressure off of you after that first win of, all right, we're there, we're working, we're striving in the right direction.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've built for Northland?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is the relationship aspect. I strive every day with my athletes of getting to know them, not just as a volleyball player, but as a person. And that has really helped us on and off the court because now we have that relationship that they can come to me. My door's always open and they tell me a lot about their life and what's going on, their feelings. And then in the gym, we have that trust where they know I care about them, and I'm not just pushing them to push. I'm pushing them because I care about them and can see a big future for them. So relationships has been a big thing that I built our culture around, and that can only help in the trust and the outcome of the program.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against each week?
Yeah, Northwestern is probably the top team of our conference, with them being top 5 in D3 volleyball. Always challenging, but always exciting to get to play at that high level and see that competition. Superior is another one. Bethany Lutheran, Martin Lutheran, North Central, Morris, Crown are the few teams in our conference.
Of course, what is that home game atmosphere like when teams like Northwestern comes to your home facility?
Um, Exciting. Just because you get to play a top team and you get to see that high level team. And I told the girls, I said, no matter the outcome, this is an opportunity a lot of teams don't get to see, is playing the top teams of D3. So we take it and we learn, and we strive to be that program where we want to compete at that high level. So that's a great opportunity for us to learn and see and try to compete with.
What is that away atmosphere like going to teams like Bethany Lutheran?
Challenging because it's a 5-hour drive for us. But this year we beat Bethany on their home court, and it was the first time in 11 years that we have won in Mankato. So that was a huge accomplishment for our program. Came down to 5 sets, and the girls grinded and came down point by point, and getting that win out of 11 years was a huge accomplishment for our program.
What are some of the game day traditions that you have helped implement?
Um, just hanging out in the locker room, blaring music, being as one as a team. I know they started doing yoga before a lot of our home games. I really didn't push that, but that's something they started this year. But other than that, just being together and making those memories in the locker room and being goofy and getting the nerves out before games.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to come to Northland?
Yeah, I would say a big relationship and communication of just communicating, getting to know the athlete that we're recruiting as a person, because I want to bring in people that match our culture, that will only help us in the culture aspect, but also on the court. High communication, just keeping us updated, visiting campus. I always tell athletes, visit campus, find that good fit for you, and you always want to find that place that is home for you.
As a head coach, what are you looking at in those prospective student athletes?
Yeah, obviously skill. Everyone is looking for that athlete that has the skill. But I would say the biggest thing I look for, skill comes. I love the development side of the game, especially at this level, is developing those athletes. So I'm big on effort. I want my kids to give it all every day. And if I see an athlete in a film or a game making those hustle plays, those are the kids I want, because they'll work hard, and kids that are high energy on the court, cheering their team on. I watch for body language to how they respond with their coaches and teammates. So more on the mental side of the game versus the skill, because skill can be developed. But if you have that effort, you have that good positive mindset, those are the kids I want to help change this program.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing your freshmen put on that uniform for the first time?
Exciting. You see them and you're like, oh, they're so little, they're so young. And then just watching them grow up, develop and mature and be themselves. A freshman year, you see them being very timid and shy, but very exciting because they've worked hard for this opportunity, and it's kind of surreal as a freshman putting that jersey on. So seeing them experience it and get to do something that not a lot of kids get to do. It's an awesome experience.
For you as a head coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen achieve those big milestones like the first digs and first scores?
Exciting. You just see the pure joy in their faces, and just getting to see and help them achieve those goals. I mean, that's why I coach. That's why I love the game so much, because you see their hard work come out and you see them enjoy that hard work. But seeing their joy and the love of the game, that I mean, that's why a lot of us coach, and just seeing the excitement of all their hard work. I mean, that's why I do what I do.
What is it like as a head coach seeing those seniors put on that uniform for the last time?
Bittersweet, but very proud, because you see their improvement, their leadership day in and day out. And I mean, this year it was very bittersweet for our seniors, because we lost Friday to keep us going into the tournament. So Friday was a big game. And then Saturday, I mean, we played the team that we would have been competing for the 4th seed, and coming out and sweeping them in our last home match. I mean, it was very chill, because I mean, those girls just came out and played. They came out and played with no nerves. They just wanted to play. And seeing that, I mean, I even told them, I was like, I'm very proud with how we played, but this game just showed how good you guys are, and be proud of that.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those players go on and playing in professional volleyball after their playing career?
Can we cut that one, because that doesn't usually happen?
What are some of your future plans for the volleyball program moving forward?
Yeah, building this program up where the previous players are very proud of the program. Current players are proud to be part of the program, and making our way into the conference tournament. It's been quite a few years since Northland's made top 4. And I mean, we were one game out from making the top 4 team. So just keep striving every day to be that top 4 team, and do something that the school and program hasn't done in quite some time.
What advice would you give those freshmen entering their first year of college volleyball?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes, especially on the court, because that's where you learn the most, is those mistakes. That's where you grow. Don't be afraid to make those relationships with the upperclassmen. Yeah, just be yourself, and always just keep working hard no matter what.
What advice would you give those seniors looking to get into coaching after their playing career or even going playing professionally?
Yeah, coaching is a way to keep the sport growing, especially to the younger age, and always be always know why you're coaching, and find that group that makes you a better coach every day.
What advice would you give those assistant coaches out there that are looking to become head coaches one day?
Keep grinding. The grind can be hard and tiring at times, but when you become that coach, that head coach, and you see that program growing and the relationships building, and you see the program how you think and know it should be, it's very much rewarding. And yeah, the grind is hard, but it's worth it.
What advice would you give those head coaches out there looking to build their own program and build their own legacy?
Yeah, build those relationships, because at the end of the day, our jobs rely on 18 to 22-year-olds. So they'll fight and work hard for you if they see you working hard for them. And build a culture that is positive. Nowadays, lot of negatives out in the world, but if these kids know that you're fighting for them, and you're positive, and you always push them to be better people, it only helps.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you on social media along with the Northlands volleyball program at?
I am on Twitter, Instagram. Our team page is also on Instagram and Twitter too. I can share that with you too, so you can post. But yeah, Twitter, Instagram, we try to update our team one weekly as much as I can. With it not having an assistant right now, it's all on me. So I try to update everyone, and especially our recruits that follow us weekly, to see what we're doing and what changes are getting made.
Thank you again, Coach Hope Neargarder, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Northland College as the head volleyball coach.
Thank you for having me.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Hope, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.